Now, next here on the programme, let's hear from the minor managers ahead of today's opening match at Croke Park. Paul McShane is the Armagh manager, while Dave Dempsey who's been the Mayo miners in recent times. They're giving their final thoughts to Mark.
Paul's 1949 since you've done so now this I'm sure they're excited.
I was a bit plenty. We've tried to do a little more that. Just constantly mobility today. People saying a lot of things, 6 years. I said about final, but it was one hurdle at a time. There's no point in thinking about All Ireland if you're not in it, and the only consequence.
You must be favourites, obviously, after that impressive performance against Kerry. That must have given you great confidence.
It gave us great confidence, no doubt about that. We can't put favourite tags on it. That's your job. You do all that in the media. Favourites doesn't always win the race. So, it's nothing we really think about favourites. Mayo was quite impressive in the second half, again down as well. So they could be favourites also. So, both teams are here in merit. And it's probably the two best teams in the country at the moment. So it's a battle, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Martin, the last day of the year, and we're just looking forward to it now, and we're the year building for it. So I suppose we're only less than an hour away now from throw-in.
How many of last year's team do you have? Because you lost last year after a replay to Tyrone.
We've three lads that lined out in last year's final are still on the panel, and they're taking their places today. But as I said in the semi-final, it'll have to be a full panel committed here today, 24, whatever subs are introduced, because we expect nothing easy. There's nothing handed out on the final day of the year, so it's going to take a huge panel, huge commitment from everyone to win.
Michael. Yeah, should be an interesting minor final. One thing about it, Colin O'Rourke, is it's a lovely day here in Dublin today, and I think it is around most of the country. Very warm in actual fact, and that could be a factor in both of the matches.
Yeah, well, it puts a premium on fitness, but it is almost the perfect day for football. 17 or 18 degrees, dry ball, dry sod. It's the day for when great players make a name, and certainly the more extreme the conditions in terms of heat, the better it is for the good players, because they eventually will burn off anybody who has a chink in their armour. And I always like playing on days like today, because obviously, if you play on a wet, windy day, it brings a bit of chance into it. But today, there'll be no excuses. No, there won't now. It'll be OK for the minors, Pat. They're young, fit lads. What about the senior game? Some of those Kerry lads have a fair bit of mileage up.
Look, nowadays, Michael, with no stone being left unturned in terms of physical preparation, these boys will be as fit as they ever were. And like I said, Kerry have had, they've had, I mean, when they played Cork last June, they were the unfittest Kerry team I'd ever seen playing in a championship match against Cork. They weren't disciplined, they weren't hungry, but they certainly were unfit. And since then, whether it is by accident or by design, they've been a bit of a slow burner all summer long. And I'll tell you this, whatever about anything else, they won't be wanting in fitness today, irrespective of age. And I felt, look, my last year playing here in Croke Park in semi-final, I was 35 years of age, and I would say I was at my fittest.
Yes, yeah. All right, lads. Well, as you can see at the moment, here at Croke Park, we have the arrival of the patron of the GA, Dr. Dermot Clifford, and he, of course, is accompanied by Uachtaráin Cumann Luchlas Gael, Christy Cooney, and his wife, Anna. We don't know, of course, who Christy will be presenting the minor trophy to, but I have a fair idea who he would like to present the Senior Cup to. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. Back after that with the All-Ireland Minor Football Final of 2009. It is Armagh versus Mayo, and that's coming up shortly. Indeed, all looking forward to the big occasion here at Croke Park on the 20th of September 2009. And the Mayo miners hoping for a better day here today, of course, than they had last year, Joe Brolly. And the thing about it is, it's great for our teams to get into All-Ireland finals, but Mayo have now lost the last 4, I think it is, that they've been in this decade alone in the minor final. Haven't won since '85, so, the pressure kind of grows on a county.
I think that's right, and they certainly played that way in the semi-final against Down. Even though they had a better team all around than Down, they struggled, and eventually they got a goal against the run of play that they forged on from. But I think they're going to be under severe pressure today, because there's been a huge expectation around this Armagh minor team. They play like a mini senior team, and they've got a most imaginative full forward line, which is always the most important component of minor football.
It's a beautiful day for a game of football here in Drumcondra. Mayo will be defending the Davin stand end of the first half, playing into Hill 16. In fact, no, there's been a little bit of a change there. Michael Slingerman, I think, went down into that goal just to familiarise himself for a moment. Now he's heading back into Hill 16, so Mayo will be defending the Hill 16 goal in the first half. Aidan Walsh has gone to midfield, as we expected. Darren Cohn has gone to wing forward, Andrew Farrell to centre forward, and Brian Rutledge into the corner with that big man, Alex Corduff, positioned just now on the edge of the square. Declan, last words before the throw-in. what's going to happen?
Yeah, they've lined out exactly as we thought they might, Mike. It's all to play for now. It's in Mayo's hands. All we can do is wish them the best of luck and hope they do themselves proud and win the game.
Well, the man in the middle is Eddie Kinsella from Laois. He becomes today the second Laois man to take charge of an All-Ireland minor football final. Maurice Deegan, the first, back in 2005, and Eddie Kinsella, who refereed Mayo's quarter-final win over Tipperary this summer. He is back in the middle again today. Well, here we go again. Hang on tight. The ESB All-Ireland minor football final is off and running, and straight away an early touch for big Danny Kirby from Castlebar Mitchells, driving that ball in towards Alex Corduff and Cillian O'Connor, and that will give you, I suppose, a glimpse of Mayo's tactic early on here. Let the ball do the work and hit that full forward line fast and often. Now we'll give you a check on the Mayo team. In goal, Micheál Schlingerman. The full back line, Michael Welsh, Keith Rogers and David Gavin. The half back line, Kieran Charlton, Shane McDermott and Quillan Crowe. At midfield it's Danny Kirby and Aidan Walsh. The half forward line that starts is Darren Cohen, Andrew Farrell and Fergal Durkin, and inside Brian Rutledge, Alex Corduff and Cillian O'Connor. The kick out from Stephen O'Reilly breaks to the far side in the shadow of the Cusick, picked up by Aidan Welsh, linking up with his clubmate Fergal Durkin. Back to Welsh again, very good tight close control, and now Quillan Crowe from Gary Moore kicking it in first time, again looking for big Alex Corduff, flapped at it a little bit but got the touch to Fergal Durkin. Durkin has been fouled by Niall Rowland, and that's a free into Mayo. Good positive start. A little over a minute gone and already Alex Corduff in the thick of the action.
Yeah, and it's very early days, Mike, but I've already liked the look of the way Mayo have lined themselves out. They've put that structure that we alluded to earlier on in place from the start. They were going man-on-man midfield. They put Corduff at the edge of the square, a big man who got his hands to win that ball. Durkin from Castlebar was very brave, actually. That was not a gimme ball. He went in hard for it, won his free, and this hopefully will be the first goal for Mayo.
So 90 seconds gone and the spotlight falls for the first time onto Aidan Walsh, the Mayo captain. He's standing on the 20-metre line, kicking into the Davin stand, and he has kicked it wide. Well, you would have put everything you had on Aidan Walsh there. He decided, interestingly, to kick it out of his hands. Now, that was not something he did all that often against Down, and he's missed from point-blank range.
He didn't do it once, Mike, against Down. I was very surprised to see him take that from the hands, because he kicked 6 out of 6 from the ground in the semi-final. That won't do his confidence much good, but hopefully he's a bigger and better player that he can overcome that, put the next one on the ground and start again.
Well, a little bit of early nerves, and remember, Aidan did play in last year's All-Ireland minor final, so it just goes to show you this is a big day for each and every one of them. The kick out again is won by Mayo. They've started well. Darren Cohen inside to Shane McDermott, the man from Burrishoole. There to help out is Kieran Charlton from Kilchima. Little look up to spot what's happening inside. Corduff again trying to break off the shoulder of Declan McKenna, but the pass was overcooked, and that's Mayo's third wide. They have been camped inside the Down or the Armagh half since the throw-in, and they've been faring out particularly well around the middle of the field.
Yeah, everything going according to plan. They're living inside the Armagh half. What they need to watch now is that they don't build up the tally of wides, that they need to get the scoreboard ticking over, because everything else is going well.
Mayo bidding today to win their 7th All-Ireland minor title and their first in 24 years. The kick out from O'Reilly, knocked down to Andrew Murnan, the centre forward, just sitting back there with the half back line. Support comes from Carragher to James Morgan, all very neat and tidy from Armagh. They hold possession. The centre half back is Niall Rowland, driving it down first time, looking for that full forward line. Danny Kirby back there to help. Michael Welsh got a hand to it and cleared away by Keith Rogers from Cloncha and Ballahadreen. Away to Brian Rutledge, wearing 10, and out there at the moment in the left half forward pocket, trying to link up with Cillian O'Connor, but cut out back there by Kevin Nugent, the Armagh corner back. Support from Keelan Downey inside to the big strapping midfielder Peter Carragher. He's a man that'll put himself about, gets a little bit of room for himself and drives it in, again looking for the full forward line, but Mayo playing from the front. Rogers 50 yards out from the goal, won it well, claimed it confidently to Shane McDermott, threading it across to this near side for Darren Cohen, soccer style to Corduff. Lovely silky touch for a big man. Corduff needs support. The runner is McDermott. Chance of a goal surely. McDermott, fine save by Stephen O'Reilly. Shane McDermott just might have taken one step too many there. O'Reilly quickly left his line and the chance was gone.
Yeah, Mayo looked good. I thought he just took the wrong option. He probably should have just fisted that one over the bar to get the scoreboard ticking over from the start.
Here come Mayo again. They've started really well. A little over 4 minutes gone, in case you've just knocked on your radio or even your laptop. A little over 4 minutes gone in the ESB All-Ireland minor football final. Still no score. Now Armagh have the ball in the Mayo half. Robbie Tasker, a very lively, elusive corner forward, trying to twist away from Michael Welch, and Welch has conceded the free, and a first chance for Armagh to have a shot at goal, but just moments after Shane McDermott very nearly hit the net at the other end.
Yeah, it was a great run through because he sliced open the Armagh defence. It's just like, I think that hop just took him about 3 steps too far. At that stage, the correct option would have been to fist it over the bar, but he went for the goal. You cannot blame him. It was quite a good save though at the same time from the Armagh keeper.
So Rory Grugan, man who plays soccer with Armagh City, kicks his first free into the Hill 16 end, and it sails over the bar. They have been pinned inside their own half, and yet they lead by a point after 5 minutes.
Yeah, now Mayo have owned the ball for 5 minutes, yet find themselves a point down. Look, it's very early days, there's nothing to get too worried or excited about, but Mayo just need to calm themselves, compose themselves in front of goal now, and start kicking that ball over the bar. Let's start notching up 1 or 2 scores. They'll find them easier to come by once they start.
So Rory Grugan from Ballymacnab brings his tally in the championship to 114. The Sun splitting the stones here in Dublin City as Mayo win possession from their own kick-out. Crow to Durkin, but Fergal Durkin trying to pump that ball into Cillian O'Connor's corner. Finds only touch on the far side as Raymond Dempsey watches on the line today for the second time in an All-Ireland minor final. And remember, it's 20 years ago since he was here on All-Ireland final day as a 19-year-old Mayo substitute. Came on in the closing stages of Mayo's defeat to Cork back in '89, and I can already hear people all around the Midwest region thinking, was that 20 years ago? Indeed, and it was. Dempsey watching on now as the Armagh corner forward Robbie Tasker out around the middle of the field. Couple of touches and direct ball to McVerry. McVerry, the danger man, drives it high, right-footed and over the bar. Well, that's why he is the talk of Armagh and Ulster football. Out in front, turned onto his right boot and made it look very easy indeed. 6.5 minutes gone, Armagh lead by 2.
Yeah, certainly the difference so far between the two teams, Mike, is that Armagh have got 2 chances, taken 2. Mayo have got 3 chances and taken none. So it's the obvious area we need to brush up on.
McVerry, Armagh's leading point scorer in the championship, 20 points now he's hit this summer. As meanwhile back at the ranch, Armagh get a free. They're dropping their centre forward Andrew Murnan back into their own half to give themselves a 7th defender, leaving plenty of space up front for Tasker, McVerry and McParland. Here is Tasker tangling with Michael Welch, who celebrates his 18th birthday on Tuesday. Welch got a knee to that ball to knock it out to Darren Cohen. Cohen to McDermott, and Shane McDermott, standing sentry at centre half back, does what he has to do, and the man from the village of Mulranny wins the free, which was taken by Danny Kirby. Again he goes long, and again Corduff is the target, in there like a lighthouse on the edge of the square, knocks it down to Brian Rutledge. Rutledge swallowed up by the defenders and fouled. Free in, says the referee Eddie Kinsella, and this is a gilt-edged chance for Mayo to open their account.
Yeah, and again Corduff was at the thick of it. Mayo gone route 1 really. He's at the edge of the square, he's getting his hands to the ball. He may not be catching them clean, but he's certainly not letting Armagh get near the ball, and another great chance for Mayo now. So Brian Rutledge wearing number 10, the man who plays his club football with Knockmore. They call him Beano down in North Mayo, and Beano Rutledge, kicking from 13 metres out, hammers it over the bar. That will do his confidence no harm at all. Very talented young footballer, man who learnt his trade under the tutelage of his father Desi, Mr. Underage Football in Knockmore. Well, he has got Mayo off the mark after 8 minutes, and all is pretty well with the world, Declan, after the early doors here. Yeah, it's been a good start for Mayo. It's been a very bright, promising start. Now look, we talked about our man Mike before the game. Their full forward line looks exceptionally dangerous. They're lit with pace, and if they get that ball into them, they're absolutely dangerous. We got to win the midfield battle. These type of balls need to be picked up, and then we need to score at the far end.
The kick out from Stephen O'Reilly, again broken down by a Mayo hand, but Armagh have numbers, and there for them is Ronan Finnegan, away to Kevin Nugent. Quick hands to the centre back Niall Rowland. They really can extricate themselves from tight corners quickly. Murnan back to Rory Grugan. Grugan spotted the run of Robbie Tasker out of the corner of his eye. So too did Michael Welch, and the man from Ardnary Sarsfields, well, he takes no prisoners, and he will be the shadow of Robbie Tasker today, just in terms of who's picking up who. Welch picking up Tasker, Keith Rogers staying on the edge of the square to mind Eugene McVerry, and that means that David Gavin is paired with Gavin McParland. The kick out from Micheál Schlingerman from Kilchama, plucked from the air by Aidan Welsh. The kick outs are working like clockwork. Welsh, long ball this time to Cillian O'Connor, the man who's hit 5 goals in the championship, pops it off to the runner Kirby. Danny Kirby takes aim, pulls the trigger and lands the equaliser. That is a wonderful score from big Danny Kirby from Castlebar Mitchells. 9.5 minutes gone. We're level for the first time.
A brilliant score. Mayo's best score today. It's a ball, a long ball again, route one, except this time to Cillian O'Connor, who won the ball well. The full forward line looked very dangerous from Mayo as well. A great run through from Kirby. He was on his shoulder. Great pop pass from O'Connor, and a wonderful 45-yard kick over the bar, over the black spot. Great score from Mayo.
Well, Danny Kirby, who's minor again next year, has got better and better with every match this summer, and he is playing really well during the first quarter here. Now that's better from Armagh though. The kick out from O'Reilly, taken at his ease by Peter Carragher from Silverbridge, the same club as the Armagh manager Paul McShane. Wins a free and takes it quickly, but too quickly for the Armagh men, and won by Quillan Crowe, who's made a good start. The man from Garrymore needs support, and it comes from Kirby, who's just dropping back to help out his defence whenever he's needed. Kirby outside to Keith Rogers, and Keith Rogers hangs onto that ball, wins his free. And it's safe to say, so far, Keith Rogers has looked very assured at full back. Make no mistake about it. He's picking up the Armagh danger man. That is Eugene McVerry. But the state of play just now is that the teams are locked together at 2 points apiece after 10.5 minutes of the All-Ireland minor football final. Ball into the Armagh half, flicked on by the knuckles of a Mayo man, but the only player back there waiting to win it is James Morgan from Crossmaglen Rangers. Beats one Mayo player, beats a second, trying to play himself out of trouble, but took too much on his young shoulders there. He's given possession right to Danny Kirby. Kirby's picked it off the carpet, off the floor, in front of the referee, and that will mean a stoppage and a chance for everybody to catch their breath. But considering that Armagh went 2 points clear after 6 minutes, Mayo have done enough to get back on terms. Now Aidan Walsh is injured, and it would look, from what we're seeing on the television pictures, that he has dislocated his finger, and that does not look pretty, Dick.
It doesn't look good, but it's a job. It's a job that can be sorted and it can be fixed. The physio is on, and they should be able to get that sorted fairly handily. It's obviously a sore thing, but it's not going to stop Aidan playing the rest of the game. Now, in regards in the overall game, I think Mayo are given as much as they're getting here. They look well in this game. Certainly they respect Armagh. There's no sign of any fear of Armagh out there. They're equally as good as them. Armagh are a bit more clinical in their finish. They're more economical with the ball, but Mayo have more possession, and as long as that continues, it'll happen for Mayo. So let's hope it continues the way it has started now.
Well, Dr. Sean Moffat and Caroline Brennan, the Mayo physio, are out there on the field at the moment working on Aidan Walsh, just in a very innocuous challenge. He was unfortunate that one of his fingers on his right hand just popped out, and Mayo's medical team doing what they do best and patching him up right now. And Aidan Walsh, it is vitally important that he is kept in health and kept 100% fit for this game, because he's a huge player and he will have an awful lot to do before this day is out. So Welsh patched up again, and Armagh have possession. They have the free after the ball is picked off the ground by Danny Kirby. It's taken by their centre half back Niall Rowland, linking up with Grugan, wearing 10, but at the moment he's back in his own half. Support comes in the shape of Nugent inside to Peter Carragher, and now Grugan again flicks it on. Intelligent little 1-2 there with James Donnelly. Here's Grugan, and when Armagh attack, there's a little buzz of anticipation. Men outside. One of them is Andrew Murnan. He's only kicked 2 points in the championship. He's just landed his third. Well, he's very much the scavenger, the worker, the fetcher and gatherer in this Armagh forward line, but that time he put himself in a very good position, and he's kicked Armagh back into the lead 3-2 after 13 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good score, Mike, but it was Rory Grugan that did all the donkey work there. He did all the spade work, got the hard ball, cut through the middle, offloaded a lovely pass, and a great score from Armagh.
Armagh lead by 1. Slingerman's kick out was taken very quickly. Works out for Mayo. It ping-ponged around their half-back line for a moment or two, but in the end it was hacked down the field. Armagh, though, have a line ball. It'll be taken by Peter Carragher, trying to link up with Conor King. But it was all very tight, space at a premium, and the linesman on this near side has got his hand held in the direction of the Armagh goal. He's given that ball to Mayo. Taken by Darren Cohn, missed by Farrell, but not by O'Connor. Cillian O'Connor, the danger man, trying to come in along the end line, but robbed. His pocket picked by Niall Rowland, and the Armagh man did really well there to stay with O'Connor, dispossess him, and find Peter Carragher. Here's Rowland again. Lovely, neat and tidy approach work by Armagh. The fullback Ronan Finnegan takes one hop and then a second, Mayo get the free, and I think that was spotted just milliseconds before the referee by Declan O'Reilly on my left hand side. But Mayo's pressure there forcing Armagh into the turnover.
There was a free already inside. The referee didn't spot when when O'Connor was dispossessed. The boy picked it, the Armagh lad picked it off the ground. Now the referee missed that one, but he didn't miss this one. That's the essence of this Mayo minor team this year, Mike. It's their teamwork, their work ethic, gathering around people and dispossessing them. Well done, Mayo.
So the hard work means a free for Brian Rutledge. He's 40 yards out or thereabouts, kicking off the left boot, kicking from the hand. It's bouncing around the square, grabbed by Corduff. Here's Cillian O'Connor from a very tight angle, and he sneaks it inside that right hand post and over the bar. Level for the second time. That's the first score of the All-Ireland minor final for Cillian O'Connor, and he had very little room there to work with.
I can't understand how he fit that one between the posts, because he was practically on the end line on the wrong side on his left foot, and he got it between the posts. A wonderful score. Yet again, Corduff was involved. He's having a great game here. I thought Corduff actually might have went to fist the ball into the goal, but he got possession, did the right thing, offloaded to O'Connor, and a wonderful strike from a very, very difficult angle.
Well, Cillian O'Connor, the man from Cranmore in Ballintubber, the part of the country down there that's known as the Golden Mile. He's kicked his 8th point of the minor championship, 3 points apiece. We're right back where we started after a quarter of an hour here at Croke Park. A few dark clouds beginning to roll in from the Dublin city centre side, but still conditions close on perfect as again Mayo go long. Kirby with a 50-yard pass in towards Corduff, who's sitting on the penalty spot. Ball broken away from him though, and now Armagh have possession. Murnan, the extra defender, driving it down the field to McParland. McParland links up with Tasker. Runner outside is Conor King. King has a man inside. It's McParland. Goal on here. McParland somehow under pressure from David Gavin has fumbled the ball, and it's gone wide on the right hand side. Credit to David Gavin from Brafey. He stayed with McParland. He made up the ground. Schlingerman came off his line as well, but McParland, the man who's hit the net 4 times in 5 championship games, nearly stole in again.
Yeah, that was a combination. Schlingerman out quick, but David Gavin was there. He was on his shoulder. He didn't make it easy at all, and that's the reason that ball went wide. Great defending from David Gavin, but it shows you cannot afford to give these Armagh boys space.
Well, Gavin McParland in full flight looks every inch an under 21 footballer. Hard to believe he's minor. He's a huge man. Now Schlingerman's kick out has found its way into the Armagh half. Fergal Durkin, man who plays rugby, and you'd know it to look at him. Does well, makes the hard yards. O'Connor trying to sneak it over. That would have been some score. It's hit the outside of the post and gone wide on the right hand side. Well, only Cillian O'Connor would have had the confidence to try for a score from there. He was in the right corner forward pocket. The angle was tight, and he very nearly managed it. It
shows you the skill level that this lad operates out of, Mike, because with the last score with the left foot from a near impossible angle, he then dummied his man onto a right from an equally impossible angle, and very unlucky not to put it between the posts. But he's dangerous, and they know he's dangerous. The more ball Mayo get to him, the better for us.
Well, there are chances being carved out at either end, not always being taken, but up on the board where it all counts, it's Mayo 3 points, Armagh 3 points. They couldn't be any closer, and possession around the middle of the field is being fought for tooth and nail. Foul on Andrew Murnan by Andrew Farrell, the Killala man who's playing at centre forward, but really spending more time inside his own half, trying to help out that half back line. Shane McDermott doing fine on his own this time though. The man from Burrishoole plays a 1-2 with Darren Cohen. McDermott again enjoying himself in the wide open spaces, driving it into the corner towards that 2-man full forward line of O'Connor and Corduff. O'Connor, that pass was just overcooked, and he has been very tightly marked by Niall Rowland. Rowland, who seems to have gone man-to-man with O'Connor, and takes the free. Rowland, a 1-2 with Conor King. Armagh just outside their own semicircle, in front of their own goal. The full-back Ronan Finnegan got his hands on that ball. Outside to Keelan Downey. Downey is stopped in his tracks unfairly by Andrew Farrell, and the referee Eddie Kinsella has given Armagh a free. Keelan Downey is down and looks to be in some difficulty, and he took a very heavy fall there.
Yeah, and it's good work from Mayo. The only thing they want to watch, there's a thin line between working very hard and giving away fouls. Now, we don't want to get anybody on a card because there's a long part of this game to go yet, and Andrew Farrell did, he tried hard. He went in with the shoulder into the man's back, and it was a free. So even though the work rate that we talked about is hugely important, that has to be combined with a certain level of discipline, which wasn't on show there.
19 minutes gone, Declan. I see Ray Dempsey having a word in the ear of Tommaso Grady down here on the sideline. What's he saying, or how's he feeling at this stage?
He's saying it's going okay, it's going according to plan, we're in the game, we're doing well, we could do with another couple of scores on the board. A low scoring game will suit Mayo at this stage now. We're going fine, well in control of the game. Our half back line in particular, midfield area doing fine. Couple more scores on the board and we're fine. We're the better team so far, actually.
Keith Rogers has made a very good run to get the ball into the danger zone, and the kick though from Fergal Durkin has been cut out again. It's very, very tactical in its own way, this game. Both teams trying to be as cagey as they can without making it too obvious, as Armagh have the ball now. Eugene McVerry, he's 50 yards out, met by a wall of Mayo men. Aidan Welch was one, Keith Rogers another, and Quillan Crowe and Kieran Charlton were in there as well helping out, and Charlton in the end is the man who came away with the ball. Again, good defensive work.
All the endeavour that Mayo talked about, and we're not going to harp on about the situation and about their work rate, but we've got to apply a bit of class with it going forward now and get a couple of scores on the board.
Mayo's half forward line in particular now need to get the ball into their hands and, as Declan alluded to there, start creating something. Here's a man who can play playmaker with his ease. Aidan Welch getting on the ball, needs to get more into this game, driving it in long. The Mo Girach looking for Cord Duff. Out in front was Declan McKenna. He will switch in and out between the full and half back lines. At the moment he's marking Cord Duff and he does well. Peter Carragher now, the big Armagh midfielder, outside to his partner James Donnelly. Not the best pass in the world, but it all works out. Conor King back to Donnelly again. Plenty of movement inside. Tasker breaks off the shoulder of Michael Welch. Welch trying to stand his ground and hold his feet, and the corner back from Ardnaree gives an exhibition of how to play corner back there. He did everything right, but the possession has been coughed up now. Tried to link up with McDermott, much too tight. Armagh have it. Conor King with the snapshot. Schlingerman has his eye in it all the time, and the man who plays full back and centre back with the club minor and under 21 team does his primary duties very well here. Schlingerman away to the far side and gobbled up by Fergal Durkin. Durkin driving in towards the centre of the field, standing on the halfway line, pumping it in over the head of both O'Connor and Cord Duff. One left it to the other, and it was easy for Armagh. Racing out the field to try and cover up for that mistake was Brian Rutledge, trying to help out Shane McDermott. Armagh have a free on the halfway line. 3 points apiece. Armagh haven't scored for 8 minutes. Mayo haven't scored for 6. Stalemate at the moment.
Yeah, it's okay. The game is beginning to open up a bit though. I thought it was a nervous start by both sets of players, but now that it's opening up, now is the time to get things in motion, get down the pitch, and let's get some scores on that board, as I've said already numerous times.
Well, Keith Rogers is in the zone. We can only presume he slept soundly at Finstown House last night. That time he broke out from the edge of the square and was in 30 yards of space when he won a ball. Fed into the centre to Andrew Farrell. Farrell away to the far side to Rutledge. Rutledge again to Gary Owen. Again it's O'Connor and Cord Duff. O'Connor grabs it in to the bread basket, hanging on for dear life. Tries to pop it back out through the back door to Cord Duff, but the ball went one way, Cord Duff the other, and away go Armagh. Conor King, the half forward, to Murnan, the centre forward, driving towards the goal, eating up the ground. Shane McDermott chasing back, and McDermott has given away the free. Murnan was sprinting towards the crossbar. Eddie Kinsella wrapping the knuckles of Shane McDermott. The book is coming out. It might only be a tick, but no doubt about it, that was a 100% foul.
Yeah, it was, and Murnan is dangerous running at the Mayo defence, Mike. That's the third time he's done that in this half now. McDermott, who's having a fine game himself individually, is doing really well and sprinted 40 yards to meet him. Just when he got there, though, he did give away the foul. He's on a yellow. He needs to be careful.
So the first yellow card of the match comes in the 23rd minute. It's been shown to Shane McDermott, and now he will have to be on his best behaviour, as all eyes at Croke Park fall on to the very broad shoulders of Eugene McVerry. McVerry makes it look easy. Again, that's his second point. He was kicking from 30 yards out. He's an old hand at this, and he brings his tally in the championship to 1 goal and 21 points. He was a man who lit up the Ulster Colleges scene for Abbey CBS earlier this year. He's now gone into third level education, and he's a man we're going to hear an awful lot about over the coming years. But Armagh lead by 4-3 now, with 7 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, and it's fine, it's okay, it's only a 1 point game, which means it can go anyway, obviously, but midfield, Aidan Walsh's hand injury I think may affect him, more than I thought, because he has failed to win a ball since he's got that plaster on his fingers.
Armagh have given away the ball. Quillan Crowe to Fergal Durkin. Again, he's trying to switch the point of attack, but It hasn't quite worked out. Cillian O'Connor and Brian Rutledge were on the same wavelength there. They both broke to the right hand side, but the pass, there was too much on it, and it's a line ball to Armagh just down here underneath us in the shadow of the Hogan stand, taken quickly, and again it's retained possession at all costs for Armagh. Downey to Finnegan to Rowland, and away to the far side to Kevin Nugent, the left corner back from Maharry. Lovely little sidestep there to buy himself some time, linking up with Rory Grugan, the right half forward. Queelan Crowe staying with him, the man from Garrymore, lives in Pulbone. Crowe trying to stay with them, but Grugan can move. Grugan trying to link up with McVerry, but again it was tight, and Rogers got a hand in, and there to help was Queelan Crowe, and between the two of them they've won a free, and that's what you call doubling up.
Yeah, and brilliant defence from Keith Rogers. He had to get a hand in there because the Armagh man was more or less gone with that ball, but it was a great dispossession. I feel Armagh are getting a slight foothold in the game now, so it's time for Mayo to hang on and to get more possession than they have been doing. They did it against Down, and it worked for them in the second half when they got those goals. It's time to hang on here again now.
An error from Mayo. Queelan Crowe has given away the ball, but the pass inside was poor and cut out by Michael Welch. The cornerback has done really well, as have his colleagues back there, to be fair, Keith Rogers and David Gavin. But the hard work of Welch gives possession to Mayo. Shane McDermott took his eye off the ball for a moment though. Dilly-dally, and that allows Donnelly to win it back. Pumped inside to Tasker. Tasker needs support. It comes from McVerry. McVerry steadies himself, takes aim, and that's wide on the left-hand side. Well, Eugene McVerry knew exactly what he wanted to do there. He was going to shoot on sight, but just didn't judge it sufficiently. Now Schlingerman, good thinking from the Mayo goalkeeper. While everybody was catching their breath, he's taken the quick kick out, and Kieran Charlton alive to it. Charlton's pass flicked on by Fergal Durkin. Again, it's a knee of an Armagh defender that gets in the way there to knock it out the field towards the Hogan stand. Darren Cohn down to grab it up from around his bootlaces. The man from Kilrush in Hollymount, inside to Andrew Farrell, born, bred and reared in Killala, and away he goes. Farrell breaks the gain line. Kirby inside. The pass was just slightly behind him, but Kirby does well. He's hanging on to it, needs support. It comes from his clubmate Fergal Durkin from the Mitchells. Durkin thought about winding up, goes back to Kirby again. The pace has gone out of the attack, but Mayo have the football. 4 minutes left in the first half. Mayo trail by 1. Charlton, Kieran Charlton, playing in his second All-Ireland minor final, looking for somebody, anybody to make a move inside. Couldn't spot anybody, and has given it to Andrew Murnan. Armagh have 12 players inside their own half. Make that 13, and that means that McVerry is outnumbered by 4-1, and he's lost possession. Mayo have it again. Armagh sitting back in their own half, waiting for Mayo to play through them, and on this occasion Fergal Durkin and Danny Kirby can't do it. That's what you call the blanket defence. 13 Armagh men inside their own half. There was absolutely nothing on.
No, but Mayo bought it, Mike. That was the problem. We were pedestrian in that attack. We moved it from side, we moved it back, we moved it to the middle. We didn't have any penetration, and we didn't put the ball in long enough, hard enough or quick enough. We need to up the tempo on our attack from midfield in if we're to break down this Armagh defence. We didn't do it there, and we're going to suffer the consequences now because of it. 12
minutes since Mayo's last score, and Declan, I know, alluded to it a few moments ago. Aidan Walsh has just got to get into this game. Since he injured his finger early on, he just hasn't been the same player, and now Armagh at the other end of a chance to extend their lead, but Robbie Tasker, not quite sure what he was thinking there. It was neither a shot nor a pass in the end, and it's a bad wide on the right hand side. Michael Schlingerman content to let it roll limply away towards Hill 16, and that will give everybody a chance to catch their breath. And just looking at the way Mayo are lining up now, Aidan Welch has gone to centre forward, Andrew Farrell has gone to midfield, and still inside close to the goal Corduff, O'Connor and Rutledge, as Mayo try to keep their shape. They have a free now just inside their own half. Man who'll take it in his own time is Kieran Charlton, just scanning the horizon to see what's on. Welch breaks to the right. Darren Cohn it is who breaks to the left. Andrew Farrell is the man who climbs into the air to grab it and holds on tight. Back to Charlton, who continued the run. Now coming off the shoulder is Queelan Crowe. This is better from Mayo. Crowe, everybody getting out of his way to open up the centre. Now Cillian O'Connor wants it. Charlton too. Charlton has it, trying to run down a blind alley. Popped outside to Darren Cohn. Sweet little sidestep, but has to go back into the traffic again. Kick pass to Durkin. Mayo supporters imploring Durkin to shoot. Durkin says, I'll have a cut, and it flies over the bar. Fergal Durkin has kicked his first point in this year's minor championship. It comes 28 minutes into the All-Ireland final, and it means we're level for the third time. And I think everybody breathing a huge sigh of relief that Mayo took a shot and it flew over.
Yeah, no, they had patience, and maybe they moved that ball along the line a bit more often than I would like, but it worked for them. They held on to the football. The primary possession was important. Durkin then took on the responsibility. The one way, Mike, to beat a blanket defence is kick the ball over it. He shot from 40 yards. It went over the bar. A great point. Well done.
Good work there, in particular from Kieran Charlton. He started the move. He provided the penultimate pass, and it all worked out in the end. 4 points apiece in the ESB All-Ireland Minor Football Final. Before this game started, the draw was available at in and around 7 or 8 to 1. If you had a few pound on that, well, you'll certainly enjoy this the rest of this minor final. It is tight, and at the moment it looks like it'll go right to the wire. Big hit by James Donnelly on Andrew Farrell, and Farrell is down and staying down, and irony of ironies, Donnelly has hurt himself as well, but Farrell came off by far the worst.
But that's what they called in all money, Mike, a full frontal charge. Look at this now. He went straight into him. He had made no attempt to hit his shoulder at all. He got him in the chest and he got him in the head, and he got him at full force. That's a serious it's not an assault, but it's a serious attack, and Andrew Farrell will do well to get up from this now.
And just looking at the replays there, this is exacerbated by the fact that their heads clashed very badly on impact. James Donnelly just barreling into Andrew Farrell. Farrell had picked the ball off the ground, was just lifting his head to make a decision, and he was hit by James Donnelly with everything the Armagh midfielder had. Donnelly is back on his feet, but Andrew Farrell is being attended to by Dr. Sean Moffat and Caroline Brennan, and he will do very well to get back from this, because that was a big hit.
Okay, Mike, Donnelly is a physical type player, and it has a role to play in this game, no problem with that, but in that particular challenge he made no attempt at all to play the ball. It was a very poor challenge. It was actually a dangerous challenge. It's good to see Andrew getting back on his feet. He's made a tough stuff down there in Killala. He'll do well he'll look forward to half time, get the repair work done on him, but a big hit.
Well, certainly he has made a tough stuff, Andrew Farrell, man who plays on the Killala intermediate team with his brothers Martin and Jerome. But for the moment, at least, he's going to have to leave the field, and Mayo have brought in number 17, John Carney. Now, at the moment, the referee is just having a word with James Donnelly, and a yellow card is his decision. So the midfielder from Killevy, the same club as the great Stevie McDonnell, becomes the second name to be jotted into Eddie Kinsella's black book. We're a minute into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Armagh and Mayo locked together in the minor final, 4 points apiece. It's low scoring, it's been cagey, it's been tactical, and it has been enthralling since the throw-in. Now, a loose pass, an uncharacteristic loose pass by Armagh, has given possession to Mayo, and a line ball right on the 45-yard line, just in front of the Mayo dugout. Ray Dempsey close enough to Kieran Charlton to give him an instruction or two. Charlton is thinking about it. Referee Eddie Kinsella says enough is enough, that'll do for now. We are right back where we started at half-time in the ESB All-Ireland Minor Final. 4 points apiece, and Declan O'Reilly, absolutely anything could happen.
Yeah, this game is really in the mix, Mike, isn't it? It's in the balance. We don't know how it's going to go. It's even Steven at half-time, 4 points apiece. Low-scoring affair will suit Mayo.
Well, back here at Croke Park, it is half-time in the All-Ireland Minor Football Final between Armagh and Mayo, and it's all square. Armagh 4 points, Mayo 4 points. Joe Brawley, Colin Moore, Pat Spillane with me here in our studio. Joe, that's been a very slow first half, really, very little open play in it.
Very negative, but there's a simple enough explanation for it. The Armagh number 11 is just, he's playing permanently in his defence in front of his fullbacks. So the Mayo boys have nobody to kick the ball to outside because he's protecting it in front all the time. But it means that the number 6 from Mayo is free. So all he's doing is dropping back in front of the two Armagh full forwards who are totally isolated. Then Armagh, when they're coming out of their defence, they won't kick the ball, and so by the time they're working it through, you know, they're being swarmed, and Mayo can't kick the ball in because the number 11 is standing in front of the full forwards. So it's a game of attrition, and at minor level teams don't know properly how to cope with that sort of blanket defence, and so it's just a very poor game at this stage.
It is, and what Mayo probably need, Colin O'Rourke, is a little bit of movement at the forward line, given what Joe says, and they haven't quite copped onto that. They're winning good possession, but then it seems to me lads not moving for the ball fast enough.
Yeah, I suppose Mayo dominated in terms of possession, but even allowing for what Joe is saying, which is happening on both sides, so 7 backs against 6 forwards, even allowing for that, the quality of kick passing, hand passing, shooting, movement is very poor.
Big match nerves?
Yeah, maybe so, but it's a continuation, Michael, I think, of what we have seen up to now in the minor championship. We haven't seen a real good team or a real good game. So, you know, it looks as if this is not a vintage year for minor football.
Well, not a good first half, I suppose, so far, Pat Spillane. Let's just look at a couple of the positives from that. We picked out a couple of scores.
You found something?
Well, we did actually.
I didn't.
There are very few scores in play, obviously, in that 8 points scored in total, most of them from frees. But let's look at well, Eugene McVerry got a nice point for Armagh. We'll have a look at that. And young Durkin, Fergal Durkin for Mayo.
Yeah.
This is McVerry's point. We know he can do this kind of thing.
We can, but at least this is what they didn't do that often. They were moving the ball much quicker here in this particular instance. And it was a good long ball into McVerry. Look, direct ball, won it, took it on the turn and got a nice point, and they didn't do that again for the rest of the half of the game. But Michael, what we're looking at here is, I mean, we're looking at two teams where the fear of failure seems to permeate their play, and we're looking at now, like I said, we've had a couple of good chances. This was a good
defensive numbers, Pat.
Yeah, look at the numbers back. I mean, we're looking at something what has been wrong with say the ills of senior football as well. We're looking at a system of play where you're bringing extra bodies back, where it's all dependent on stopping the teams from scoring rather than concentrating on one-on-one strength.
Work done since under 15 level, which is all the more worrying, because I think at that stage there is most definitely, with the development squads in the north now, a fear amongst Gales that, you know, the emphasis is far too much at that level on success and methods of play when players should be developing their skills.
And the whole point about showing those two clips is, Colin, look at, you know, if you kick the ball over fellas' heads and put it over the bar, it's
that's
same
a good point, but
but it's hard out there. The tackling's very tough. You know?
Mayo we had a couple of goal chances in the first half. Mayo got a goal chance very early on in the game.
Yeah, there was good play, and Mayo dominated the first 5 or 6 minutes completely and got no scores from it. But it just shows a bit of skill. Cornerback comes out, shouldn't have sold himself, and a good pass inside to centre back who'd made his way forward. But I think the hop here, and it's happening. He shouldn't have hopped it at all. But I think we have seen on occasions the ball is hopping a little bit away from players, and maybe that's a fault of the surface still.
But even if you watch that, Colin, he gets the ball now. When he gets the ball, all of a sudden it's gone. The opportunity's gone. There's a fullback on the line. He's being sandwiched.
The hop just brought him too close to the keeper, I think.
But they're doing these drills and training all the time now, where a man breaks through. How does the team react? And you'll see them. They're all backpedaling away. Then let him score a point. It's very, very difficult to score a goal.
We thought Armagh were going to get a goal in that first half as well, Pat. The player was right throwing it, but again, he seemed to have also lost.
Yeah, I don't think this was a clear-cut goal chance as was the Mayo's. Yes, because I think in this instance he had lost control. Perhaps now there was good defending as well in Mayo's behalf, but I think he had lost control of the ball, and it really wasn't a goal chance.
Well, like I said, that could have fallen over the line at the same time.
Oh yeah, if he had stepped inside the keeper, it was a simple goal.
It's very interesting though what Joe says, just talking about development squads, and sometimes I'm just wondering about the merits of so many counties going to development squads and coaching to a certain type of game. I think it's important that they're too programmed now, and suddenly when they find themselves say something different, they're not able to react. I think there should be more emphasis on skills and just more emphasis on enjoying, rather than being overcoached at such a young age.
We have the Mayo minor team back out on the field. The one thing the Mayo minor team will not want to do this year is lose another All-Ireland final as they did last year.
No, and last year, of course, they went to a replay against a very good Tyrone side. They should be probably in front here, and you know there is still a hint of menace about that inside line for Armagh. They're hardly going to be held quiet for the whole 60 minutes.
Haven't seen the game open up yet, Pat. If it does open up, who would you fancy?
Well, you know, we saw a second half performance from Armagh against Kerry. They outscored Kerry 2-6 to 3 points. Kerry only got 1 score from playing the second half. I thought physically they were very strong that day, and like Colin alluded to, that inside full forward line and centre forward, I think Armagh have been together now since under 15 level. They're unbeaten in 17 matches this year, and I just think they have that little bit of guile and cuteness that maybe perhaps Mayo don't have.
Yeah, but Ray Dempsey there, who's the Mayo manager, he knows all about that too. I'm sure he's been looking at the DVDs and studying that Armagh team. Let's see what's going to happen then in the second half. Time for our second half of the All-Ireland Minor Football Final. Rasharish Marshall.
Thank you very much, Angelina. You're very welcome back to the commentary box. Both teams back out on the field, and just looking around the field, doesn't seem to be any changes. Interestingly, Andrew Farrell will start the second half at midfield for Mayo, with Aidan Walsh at centre forward, and on the Armagh side, Andrew Murnan, their centre forward, is now at midfield, where he'll partner Peter Carragher. So the referee Eddie Kinsella from Laois gets the second half underway. 30 minutes separating either Mayo or Armagh from the Tom Markham Cup. Remember, for Armagh it will be their first win in 60 years, only their second in the county's history. Mayo, well, they haven't won it since '85, and if they win today, it'll be their 7th All-Ireland Minor Football Championship, and how we are hoping and waiting that will happen. Now here's an early chance. Welch's shot blocked down. Durkin back to Rutledge, and that'll do nicely. Brian Rutledge with that trusty Kitog into the hill and over the bar, and that means that for the first time in this match, Mayo lead. The score comes less than a minute into the second half.
Yeah, a good positive start from Mayo, Mike. It's just what they'll be looking for. They would have been said at half-time, look at lads, we're in the game, it's all to play for here now. We made mistakes in the first half, so did Armagh. 4 points apiece is fine. Let's go out, throw the shackles off, let's play with a bit of abandon, get the scores on the board, as I said in the first half, and that's just what we wanted. Great start to the second half, Mike.
So the kick out from Stephen O'Reilly screwed off his boot a little bit and dropped into the path of Fergal Durkin, who's getting through a lot of hard work, a lot of the unglamorous work. He tried to link up with Killian O'Connor, but O'Connor adjudged to have scooped that up off the ground by the referee, and Armagh have possession. Taken by James Morgan. He takes the free across to the centre to where the fullback Ronan Finnegan is. Finnegan, who's been interchanging throughout the match with Niall Rowland. Finnegan's ball down the field is cut out by Danny Kirby. He is working hard today as Kirby. Fisted outside to Kieran Charlton. Charlton just between the two 70-metre lines. Wriggles into a bit of space and pumps it in on top of Rutledge again, who's getting through it. A lot of good work. Rutledge has company though. There for Armagh was Keelan Downey and Niall Rowland, and between the two of them they managed to win the ball back. Mayo though working hard, trying to pin Armagh back. They find space on the right hand side though. Murnan just crossing the halfway line, heading into Mayo territory. Brilliant steal by Fergal Durkin. Well, initially he got the hand in to knock it away and stop the momentum, but Grugan now is the next man to have a go. Rory Grugan coming down the centre, links up with Tasker. Grugan makes a decoy run. Tasker round the corner looking for the equaliser. That is simply superb from Robbie Tasker, the corner forward. Yeah, he's not the biggest man in the world, but he can score.
No, but he's accurate and he's dangerous, and he's what you'd expect in a corner forward, and he can make his own space. Ran out in front of Walsh there, won the ball, took him on, dropped his shoulder, bounced the ball, went back out the pitch and curled over a lovely right footed kick. It's a very even game now. It's all to play for, Mike. It's in Mayo's hands just as much as it's in Armagh's hands. This is the 28 minutes that's going to count for everything now.
Level for the 5th time at Croke Park. They haven't left each other's side, and that now beginning to boil over. A little bit of pushing and shoving. Everybody was watching the 21 where Micheál Schlingerman was getting ready to drive the ball down the field, and then at the other end all of a sudden something kicked off and the referee in quickly. It hasn't died down yet though. Aidan Walsh and a couple of the Armagh defenders are hopping off one another. I see the Armagh mentors running in quickly to try and nip it in the bud, but something was said or something happened off the ball at the other end of the field, and the referee has spoken to his linesman and he has singled out Aidan Walsh. So for whatever happened, Aidan Walsh has been identified. Ray Dempsey, I can see looking towards the linesman. I think Ray would like to hear it for himself, but there's a card coming, I'd say, Declan, and to say Ray Dempsey is not pleased would be an understatement.
No, he's not too impressed with that at all. No, I was looking at the kick-out, Mike, no more than yourself, and when I looked off the pitch it was nearly over. Aidan Walsh was certainly involved, but he wasn't the only one, so I can't understand why he's the only one singled out for a yellow card. Doesn't seem right to me.
So Aidan Walsh on a yellow after a little bit of argy-bargy. Ray Dempsey is pacing the line now a little bit more worried than he was. Two of his players are now on yellows. McDermott and Walsh were level at Croke Park, 5 points apiece in what surely must be one of the lowest scoring All-Ireland minor finals in recent memory, but Mayo are still in there with a shout, and that's all that matters. Here's McVerry at the other end to kick Armagh back in front. That is pure quality. Eugene McVerry using every inch of his class and quality to get out in front of Rodgers, turn onto his right and kick it over the black spot. Armagh lead again 6-5.
Yeah, we talked about Armagh beforehand, we talked about Tasker, we talked about McParlin and especially McVerry. They're class players. If you give them a half a yard they'll punish you. Rodgers did everything right. He when he didn't get the ball he stood his ground, he put his hands out, he shepherded him out towards the sideline, but class told in the end and it curled over a wonderful score for Armagh.
4 of Armagh's 6 points have come from their full forward line, as we knew they would. The kick out from Schlingerman, won by Crow to McDermott. McDermott goes long again, looking for Corduff, broken away towards Aidan Walsh. In there battling and scrapping. Killian O'Connor too. He's a long way out from the goal though. He needs to get closer. The runner is Charlton. Charlton breaks the line. He's going to shoot, looking for the equaliser. Into the hill, into the sunshine and over the bar. Kieran Charlton from Kilchuma kicks his 3rd point of the championship. We're level for the 6th time, 5 minutes into the second half.
A great score from a wonderful player. Solid with the left, kick with the right. Watch this, outside of the right boot, curled it over the bar. Wonderful score. The game is really opening up now, which is great. It's a great spectacle for all spectators. Mayo are going toe to toe with Armagh. Are they going to be better than them? I think they are. Let's hope they will be.
Ray Dempsey's made a change. He's brought Alex Corduff to midfield, and Andrew Farrell has gone straight into full forward. This will get Armagh and Paul McShane thinking. Corduff, who's a big unit, is now at midfield alongside Kirby. The kick out from O'Reilly, broken down by Murnan and won by Niall Rowland, who's backpedaling at speed. He has Aidan Walsh for company. There too is Kirby, the 2 men from the Mitchells. Andrew Murnan has it, trying to wriggle his way into space. Does really well, does Andrew Murnan. And out on this right hand side is the corner back, Kevin Nugent. Nobody spotted his run. Fergal Durkin is bursting a gut to get back. He can't catch him. Nugent is quick, but the pass inside was overhit, and Robbie Tasker throws his hands in the air and says, what did you expect me to do with that? But Nugent made the run that broke the line. A little buzz around Croke Park, but it all comes to nothing. But it just shows you in the blink of an eye how good Armagh are on that counter-attack.
Yeah, and you see it's the work rate that Mayo are putting in, which is absolutely what you expect from them, because it's their signature quality throughout this year. But if they don't get the ball in that work rate, they've got to watch the opposition coming down the pitch.
Schlingerman's kick out landed beautifully in the hands of Corduff, who drove it in first time towards the full forward line of O'Connor and Farrell. But there for Armagh, minding the house, was their big wing back, James Morgan. He does well, the man from Crossmaglen. Down along the line to Tasker. Armagh play keep ball. Tasker, little toe tap, and the runner is Morgan. Armagh are 70 yards out and looking for something. Donnelly goes long, looking for McVerry. Back there to help though as an extra defender is Brian Rutledge. He's going where he's needed now. Rutledge away to Darren Cohen. Cohen down along the right hand side looking for Kirby. Kirby slides in. That bit of Castlebar Celtic breaking out in him there, pulled in that loose ball and drove it down towards Hill 16, but the pass was intended for O'Connor, won instead by Declan McKenna, and the Armagh captain takes the free quickly. Play now ranging from end to end, ebbing and flowing. In case you've just joined us, 6 points apiece. That's the state of play in the All-Ireland Minor final. The sides are level for the 6th time in the match as Armagh lose possession. We're 7.5 minutes into the second half. Mayo defending the old canal end and playing into the hill. Queelan Crowe needs help, lost his footing, couldn't get the pass outside to Durkin. Peter Carragher is there for Armagh. Carragher to Nugent, Nugent to Donnelly, Donnelly to Grugan. All very tight but all very compact, and it all works out. Long ball from Grugan, finds its way to Tasker, thought about the shot, drops the shoulder, cuts back inside. Tasker teeing it up for McVerry. McVerry, who loves to shoot on sight under pressure from David Gavin, shoots high and wide to the right. Well, Gavin threw everything he had at McVerry there across his flight path, and that just was enough to put him off.
Yeah, it was great defence from David Gavin, because the Mayo were under the cosh there. They were under real pressure. Armagh are attacking at will now. The work rate of the Mayo half-forward line is beginning to tell us toll. They look tired. They need a break for a couple of minutes. A switch in and out might be no harm. Armagh are bringing the ball down the pitch a bit easier than they were.
I think Ray Dempsey is listening to you, Dick, because he's just moved Brian Rutledge into the full forward line to give him that breather. I'd say Fergal Durkin, by the looks of things, would like one too. Armagh have won possession from Schlingerman's kick out. Murnan to Grugan's kick. Well, he was aiming for the score, I do believe. It dropped in towards Robbie Tasker, but Armagh certainly not the finished product up front that we thought they might be. As meanwhile at the other end of the field there are problems for Mayo. Dr. Sean Moffat is down there with Andrew Farrell, and I know Margaret and Sinead Herbert in Killala are holding the fort in Andrew Farrell's home village this afternoon, and they, like everybody else, listening and watching with bated breath as Andrew Farrell is being attended to. He's been in the wars a few times, the Killala man, and it looks like he'll have to leave the field. Now this is another worry for Ray Dempsey. I see the man who's getting ready to come in to replace him is Jack McDonald from Swinford, so it's a fairly straightforward swap.
Yeah, now Jack McDonald coming in, actually we're not losing anything by that substitution. It could only be a blood substitution, I think, but McDonald has played a lot in this campaign and has done very well. That little 2-minute break, Mike, would have done Mayo well, because it's no harm for us to regroup. We had put in a 5-minute period of extremely hard work there, and the boys seemed out on their feet a bit. So regroup, the half-forward line back in place now. You need to win ball, push up the pitch.
Actually a late change of mind there. Mayo have brought in John Carney instead to replace Farrell. Carney gone straight in to the full forward line. There are 10 minutes exactly gone in the second half. That means there are 20 to go. And Mayo and Armagh, who haven't left each other's side since the throw-in, are level, 6 apiece. They've been level 5 times. Tasker, the corner forward, a real live wire out in front of Michael Welsh, gets on the ball, wins a free and holds it up as much as to say, there it is, I have what you want. And Rory Grugan comes forward to have a look at the goalpost. There's a loose man in the middle. Nobody spots him. McDermott does, but it was too late. Lovely sidestep from Carragher to give Armagh the lead. He shoots from dead straight in front of the goal, wide on the right-hand side. The wides are starting to clock up for Armagh now. This is their spell in the ascendancy, and they haven't made it count.
No, but it was a cheap ball to give to Carragher, who's a great player, because we switched off. We left him unattended, 40 yards out from goal. He should have scored, Mike, really. It's a let-off for Mayo.
I see Ray Dempsey looking into his dugout. He has that poker-faced expression. He's thinking and thinking hard and thinking about what he should do next. The game is hanging in the balance. The smallest thing could tilt the pendulum in Mayo's favour. Armagh win possession from Schlingerman's kick-out, and they've also won a free. Driven in by Grugan into the lap of McParland. He's the danger man. Chance for Tasker. What an interception by Kieran Charlton. Well, you could almost hear Robbie Tasker thinking about where he'd put that ball, and all of a sudden Charlton came from nowhere to win it back and feed it away to Kirby. That was as vital as it was brilliant. Ball down the field from Kirby, looking for O'Connor. He's in behind Carragher. Carragher to Morgan. Morgan to Donnelly. Armagh again keep possession and hang on tight. 1-2 between Carragher and Morgan. Carragher trying to drive past Corduff. Corduff trying to stay with them. Again they look for Tasker, and again Michael Walsh was expecting that ball. Gets out in front, plays a 1-2 with Crow, and Mayo's defence slams shut once more. Fergal Durkin now lets the ball do the work, looking for Carney, outnumbered 3-1. And down the field with the ball goes Niall Rowland. Armagh looked that little bit more composed on the ball now. They're looking for openings. McVerry popped off to the runner. The runner is Niall Rowland, the centre half back. It's a wild kick though, and it's ballooned away to the right and wide. They are coming in waves. There's an orange tide sweeping towards the Mayo goal, but they can find no way through.
But it's gone very congested in the middle third, Mike. You look down here in the pitch and everybody is in between the two 45s. There are very, very few people on either side. A wonderful take there from Charlton, as we're seeing in the replay. But look we've got to spread the game out a bit. It's not a great spectacle, but Mayo don't care about the spectacle, they care about the victory. But we've got to open up the play now.
Kick out from Schlingerman, finds its way to Walsh. All Michael Schlingerman has had to do today so far is kick the ball out. Let's hope it stays that way. Aidan Walsh's ball inside though is cut out again. That Armagh defence have all the answers to all the questions so far. McKenna, he started the move that ends up down at the other end with McVerry. Rogers hits him hard and fair. Play on, says the referee. Grugan has it. He's 55 yards out. Tackle by Walsh, tackle by Crow. Grugan does well, but Mayo have so many players inside their own half, there's just no way through. Cut out by Corduff, won by Shane McDermott. McDermott to Crow, Queelan Crow, the latest man from Gary Moore to play in an All-Ireland final. The last David Dolan, of course, last year. Crow soloing and hopping, selling dummies to Charlton. Mayo playing football inside their own half, and Charlton has his jersey tugged and is fouled. That was high risk stuff, but Mayo get away with it.
Charlton did well not to give away possession there, but Armagh are swarming the middle of the pitch. We've got to learn from past mistakes. The way to beat that type of defence is a long ball, but there's no point in kicking that long ball back unless we have players inside to win it. So again, like the down game, we need to get our forwards up the pitch, lowered in the ball. If we don't win it, pick up a break and get a score. We're too far out now at the moment. We need to regroup and restructure.
16 minutes to go, and Ray Dempsey's made a change, a permanent change. He's brought in Jack McDonnell from Swinford to replace Darren Cohn. That's the first permanent change Mayo have made in the match. McDonnell's gone into the full forward line as Aidan Walsh, the captain, come down on the right hand side. John Carney, the blood sub, inside looking for it. Walsh's kick is blocked down though by Rowland, and there was a tug on a jersey, and it's a free out to Armagh. Our
last 5 attacks, Mike, we haven't got past the half back line of Armagh. We need some more inventiveness here.
A quarter of an hour to go in the All-Ireland minor final, and the sap is rising now. Murnan driving it down the field. Thou shalt not pass, says Keith Rogers, and he pulls in it old style with the top of the toe and drives it 50 yards out the field. It's coming back in twice as fast, but the pass from Carragher had too much meat on it, and it's gone out to the right and wide. The game has lost all shape, all rhyme and all reason. It's level, 6 points apiece, 15 minutes to go, and you wouldn't know what had happened next.
No, and it's in the mix, and this is where games are won and lost. I think Michael Schlingerman just needs to slow things down now. Let's get a bit of composure back into the scene here. Our full back line, Mike, are doing scoring tremendously well. They're covering everything Armagh are throwing at them, but we need up the pitch. That's where we need to get something moving.
Schlingerman, a poor kick out. There hasn't been a score in this match now for 10 minutes. It has seemed like an eternity. Schlingerman's kick out though all worked out in the end. Shane McDermott down the field, driving it low to McDonald. This man can move. McDonald trying to get out of the left boot, has a look, dangerous ball. Walsh trying to get in around the back, but cut out back there by Declan McKenna. Good defending by the Armagh man. Walsh was trying to sneak in for the handy one. It didn't come though, and Armagh drive out of their own defence. Morgan outside to Andrew Murnan. Murnan from the St. Paul's club to Rory Grugan. Grugan looking up and spots the runner, the loose man, driving towards the goalpost. It's Carragher, the midfielder, kicking for the lead score, kicking off the left, wide into the Davin stand. Well, the wides are coming from left, right and centre for Armagh. They have enough possession, they just cannot score.
No, and they're letting us off the hook at the moment. Another problem for us, Mike, is that when we're attacking, we're not even getting a wide now. We're losing the ball in the tackle, which are giving Armagh the opportunity to counter-attack.
Was that over the bar? It wasn't very far away. We're looking at the replays.
It looked tight, but as a Mayo man, we'll give it a wide, Mike.
We'll take that wide. Schlingerman's kick out. Again, Corduff is the intended target. Grabs it, wins the free. Taken by John Carney. Down towards his clubmate from Swinford, Jack McDonald. In there tussling with Keelan Downey. Mayo have been hanging on for dear life throughout the third quarter. Both teams, though, have scored just twice in this second half, and that's why we're still level. 6 points apiece. We haven't seen a score for 11 and a half minutes, and it is not pretty, but from a Mayo perspective it's fairly effective.
It is, but Armagh are getting the chances, Mike. We're not getting the ball into a scoring chance. We're not even getting the shots on board. Armagh are letting us off the hook. It's an old cliche, but the next score is vital.
Hot ball, O'Connor, Carney, McDermott just lost his footing at the wrong time. Back to Durkin, scored one in the first half, fancies his shot, screws off his boot though, well away from the goal. Won by James Morgan. This man has put in some second half from Crossmaglen Rangers. They make them tough up there. Morgan breaks the tackle, holds off Walsh. Grugan, very tight though, couldn't get the hand pass away. Good work from Kirby and Crow. In goes Johnny Carney to pick up the pieces. Carney to Durkin. What about that for a sidestep? Dropped the shoulder. Big hit though. He was hit hard and unfairly, says the referee, by Peter Carragher. And when Carragher hits you, you stay hit. And there's a Kerry midfielder who can testify to that. He got hit by Carragher in the semi-final. He left the pitch on a stretcher, but that time Durkin just rode the tackle sufficiently. He's won the free.
That's the two midfielders on a yellow for Armagh now. They're living dangerously. Mayo have a scoring opportunity here. It's 45 metres out. It's a very difficult kick. Aidan Walsh is taking it. He hasn't been on his game today so far, but what a score this would be. It would get Mayo in front and him back into the zone.
Well, Fergal Durkin, the man who's played underage rugby with Connacht, I wouldn't say he got hit that hard on the rugby field, but he's up again. And as Declan said, all eyes fall onto Aidan Walsh. He hasn't had a free to kick since he missed one in the first minute at the other end. Walsh kicking into the hill. He's got it smack on, but it's got loads of distance, but not the accuracy. It faded out at the last moment. It hasn't been his day so far, but there are 12 minutes to go.
It's still all the time to play. That was a very good kick. It just tailed away at the end, but at least it's a wide for Mayo, which is an unusual thing to say, but we haven't got a wide in 15 minutes, Mike, so we need to get the ball up the Armagh side of the pitch into their defence and keep it there. Put pressure on their defence, and let's see what happens after that.
Croke Park starting to fill up now. The senior match between Kerry and Cork will throw in at 3:30. The noise getting a little bit louder. Things starting to get a little bit more serious. The clock tells us 11 minutes to go. Kirby again in there doing the unfashionable work to John Carney. Little look up from the dynamo from Swinford. Back inside to Kirby. It's all very one pace, but Mayo have the ball. Kirby wants support. Charlton off the shoulder. Charlton just about to pop the pass and it was knocked out of his grasp. Corduff, Durkin, Armagh have 13 men again inside their own half. Is that a foul? Indeed it is. A foul on Danny Kirby by both James Donnelly and Conor King, and Mayo will take that right in front of the goal.
It's good patient work from Mayo. They're holding on position, and what they're doing there is they're actually drawing the foul. They're finding it very difficult, Mike, to penetrate that Armagh defence simply because of the numerical advantage that Armagh have back there. They have 8, 9, 10, 11 players behind the ball. It's hard to break that. The only way you can do it is draw the free or kick over the defence and over the bar. We've done that twice in the first half. Let's hope the free works out the same way.
Well, if you could imagine it, Aidan Walsh has the ball on the ground just on the tip of the arc of the semicircle. He's about 35 yards out. He's dead straight in front of the goal. He's kicked these thousands of times in McHale Park, and he has nailed it at Croke Park. Practice makes absolute perfection. And with 10 minutes to go, right on the button, Mayo lead again, 7 points to 6.
Yeah, great score. He looked confident taking that kick, and Mayo now a point up with 10 minutes to go. But we have to build on that. There's a long 10 minutes left here, Mike. We got to get the likes of Killian O'Connor onto the ball. He's a marquee forward for us. We need to see more in the game. He can do damage if we get him the ball.
That was the first score of any kind in this match for 15 minutes. But Mayo lead again, just for the second time in the game, 7-6. The kick out from Stephen O'Reilly has been won by Armagh. Possession absolutely crucial now. Time is of the essence. We're into the last 10 minutes. We're swinging towards home. Peter Carragher, the midfielder from Silver Bridge, looking up and looking for options. He's picked out Kevin Nugent. Nugent, the corner back, driving into the space. The space is filled by only Danny Kirby, who again pulls in it first time. So much space inside. McDonnell back to Rutledge. Rutledge, he's gone for the score. It's shaved the post and gone wide on the right hand side. Well, you could almost hear the Mayo supporters willing that ball between the posts, wide by inches.
Better play though. Kirby drew on the ball first time. It opened up the Armagh defence. We got the ball. We got a shot. It just dipped away, but it's much more positive from Mayo. Unlucky with the shot, but there's no fault in that. He was right to have it. We need to have another one and then another one.
So now it's Mayo's turn to enjoy a purple patch. The kick out from O'Reilly is caught by O'Connor. The supply to Durkin. Durkin's driving through. Man inside is McDonnell. Chance of a goal. Saved by Stephen O'Reilly. He could see the whites of his eyes as he pulled the trigger, and O'Reilly spread himself and diverts it out for a 45. Great chance, great save.
Yeah, good shot. McDonnell got through. It was a great save, actually. He was right to go for the shot. He was bearing down on goal at pace. It was a great offload by Durkin. McDonnell came onto the ball, left foot, great save. But it's a foothold that Mayo have now got in the game, Mike. We're now on top, and now that we're on top, we have the ascendancy. It's time to push this thing home.
Jack McDonnell was looking for his first goal of this year's minor championship. He got in behind O'Connor and Durkin that picked the lock. And now Aidan Walsh. How many times last summer and this summer has he kicked 45s for Mayo and made it look so easy? But now in the dying stages of an All-Ireland final, the pressure just ups it a notch. Aidan Walsh, again he's got the distance, and again it just fades away to the left and wide. It was agonisingly close.
But that's 2 or 3 agonisingly close, as you call them, Mike, shots that we've had. I hope we don't live to regret them, but Mayo players have got to think positively now. They've got to think we're in control of this game, we're winning the ball, we're attacking, and we'll notch over a couple of those scores. They will come, we've got to keep pressing.
Well, I'm sure the neutrals were all hoping and praying for a beautiful game. We haven't quite got that, but we have got a compelling All-Ireland minor final. And wherever you're listening to us around the Midwest region, around the country, or around the world this afternoon, we hope you're enjoying this. It is compulsive viewing, and Mayo lead Armagh 7 points to 6 with 7 minutes to go as the Armagh manager Paul McShane decides to roll the dice. He's going to bring in number 18, Christopher McCafferty. He's replacing Ronan Finnegan, and at this stage it's all hands to the pump, and you wonder, I suppose, looking at the Mayo dugout, Declan, if there's anything Ray can do to shake things up from a Mayo perspective.
He's already introduced 2 subs, Mike. Kearney and Kearney and McDonnell, and both of the guys have done well. I wouldn't change anything for the moment now, because the half forwards that we talked about out of breath are back in the game. They have the breath restored. Our full back line is doing exceptionally well. Carduff is doing well in midfield. We're doing nicely. We're doing everything that we need to do. We just need to tack on a couple of scores.
Man down injured on the far side for just a moment was Keith Rogers there. He's back on his feet again, and play restarts. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Dublin. The summer has come late on the east coast of Ireland, and we could not have asked for better conditions. Mayo are so close. They're a point in front. 6 to go. Tasker at the other end for Armagh, holding off Walsh. He's got the shot in. It's going to be close, heading towards the post. One umpire nods to the other as much as to say, I like the look of that. Over she goes, and we are level for the 6th time in this All-Ireland minor final. Will we have a winner? It's very hard to know.
Yeah, and a great score by Robbie Tasker. We've already spoken about him today. He's a fine player. Give him half a yard, he'll do damage. Armagh seem to keep the scores that bit easier than Mayo do. We seem to have to work that bit harder, but we have more of the ball, we have more possession. That automatically should give us more of an opportunity.
Well, I know we're going out live this afternoon from Achill to Angola and from Chahine to Toronto, and you cannot leave your laptop or your wireless for just a moment, because anything could happen in this game. McParland pumping it in towards Tasker. He now is the go-to man. Welsh trying to stand him up, the man from Ardnaree. Tasker in along the end line. Tasker for the lead, and it's wide on his own side. He almost took the head clean off the umpire. He shot from a very, very tight angle, wide, and the entire county of Mayo breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, Michael Walsh has his hands really full with him now. Tasker is coming to the fore. He's out looking for every ball. He's demanding it. He's going left, he's going right, he's going 30 yards out, he's retreating back 15. He looks dangerous. He should have scored that, he didn't, but every time he gets the ball, he's a real danger for Mayo. The way to stop that, Mike, is that we got to not let him get the ball, win ball around the middle of the park, win our own primary possession, and get the ball into our forward line.
Well, I'm just looking at the statistics here, and it is a fair statistic. Mayo have held Gavin McParland scoreless, and they've held Tasker and McVerry to 2 points apiece. It's not bad going. These guys have got serious reputations. Schlingerman's kick out has been won by Armagh, though. It's Rory Grugan. There's a loose man on the far side roaring for it. It's Conor King. Tried to bottle him up. It's flicked inside. A chance for the substitute. The shot and a brilliant save by Schlingerman to deny Thomas McAlinden. And Schlingerman, who's been unemployed for the last 56 minutes of this match, called into action and responds in great style. Micheál Schlingerman, one-on-one with Thomas McAlinden, and he did what he had to do.
Wonderful save, but we know him so well now. We expect high standards of him. I nearly expect him to save that, and that's saying something about him. But when those incidents happen, Mike, they are an opportunity for the team to go and build on it. That's what we need to do now. We need to build on incidents like that.
Well, Schlingerman, who likes to hunt, fish, play darts and play pool, he's not a bad goalkeeper either. Schlingerman now watching as Armagh build down along the right hand side. Less than 4 minutes to go. McAlinden again. Could he be the super sub? He's gone for the lead, and he's got it. Thomas McAlinden has kicked Armagh in front with 3 minutes to go of normal time. They lead 8 points to 7. And are we about to see history repeat itself all over again?
It's hard to know, Mike. Armagh after getting the foothold for the last 2 minutes, and the difference is when we have huffed and puffed a bit and gone for scores and missed them, they're more accurate, they're more economical in front of goal, and ultimately at the moment that's the difference.
Listen to that sound. That's the sound of 15 to 1600 Mayo men, women and children imploring their team for one more push. Here they come. Fergal Durkin driving over the gain line. You could see his head down there, burrowing away. Into help comes Kirby. He'll sleep soundly tonight. Now Johnny Carney buzzing around the brakes. Carney's gone for it. It's going to drop short. Chasing in there is McDonnell, but it's gone on the gentle breeze out to the left and wide.
It's a good effort, Mike, but it's symptomatic of what's happened for the last 12 minutes. When we've got the opportunities and we've got the ball, we've got nearly scores, but ultimately they're wides. They're costing us at the moment.
Ray Dempsey is straining every muscle. You can almost hear his voice up here in the crow's nest of the Hogan stand. He's roaring instructions into his team. I make it just less than 2 minutes of normal time left in the ESB All-Ireland Minor Final. Corduff scrapes the skies to win that ball and lands and holds on tight to Durkin. Mayo trail by 1. 1 score is all we need. Durkin to O'Connor. O'Connor to Corduff. They're the key men inside now. O'Connor, his pass found its target. Corduff lost possession, and Armagh, who have 12 men inside their own half, come out with the football in under the rockster.
When you run into traffic against Armagh, there's every chance you lose the ball, Mike. That's what happened, and they're so dangerous on the counter-attack. We have to try and get the ball back now.
Charlton is in there scavenging for bits and pieces, and Kirby to help, but Armagh look very composed now. Rowland back to Peter Carragher. Carragher's pass is poor though. Shane McDermott has it. The man who was a very tasty handballer in his day. The centre back from Burrishoole to Durkin. Durkin, how and where does he get his energy? Still Durkin hanging on, looking for a green and red jersey. Charlton says, I'll help you out. Kieran Charlton holding on, he's won the free.
We've got to get players inside, Mike. We've got to get that ball over that blanket defence.
Aidan Walsh is 50 yards out. There are a swarm of Armagh man between him and the goal. He drives in a hopeful ball. It lands on the penalty spot. The only man there is Andrew Murnan for Armagh, and away they go with Declan McKenna.
But that's what I'm saying, Mike. The kick was good, but there's no point in doing it unless there's somebody in there. We've got to get men inside.
Mayo's forward line have lost their shape now. They are just going where the ball is, following the football. And with less than 30 seconds to go, the smart money surely would be on Armagh. They've won a free on the far side, and Robbie Tasker turns towards the Cusack stand, throws his hands in the air and says, come on, give us a bit of support. We'll have at least 2 minutes of additional time. That means there are a little over 2 minutes to go. Mayo trail by 1, and they need somebody, anybody, to take this game by the scruff of the neck now and drag them back into it again. Armagh have the ball though. They'll play possession football. They go short with the free. The man who has the ball is Conor King. Loose player on this near side is Peter Carragher. Kirby's trying to get there. Kirby jumps. Carragher has it. This could be the insurance score. Carragher kicks. Carragher scores, and Armagh lead by 9-7 in the All-Ireland Minor Football Final. And it's not looking good.
No, a great point by Carragher, a great pass from the Armagh man on the wing. It's as simple as this, Mike. One opportunity, one goal wins you the game. That's what it's down to.
Mayo have scored 1 point in the last 25 minutes of this game. It came from a free from Aidan Walsh. Those statistics just don't add up. Schlingerman's kick out is grabbed by Corduff. It's not over, as the late great Willie the Shoe used to say, till the fat lady sings. And we are almost there, but not quite. We're deep in the stoppage time, almost a minute. Armagh have a free, and that was courageous, to say the least, by James Morgan. And when the history of this Armagh minor team is written, Morgan's name will feature very prominently. He has been outstanding at wing back.
Yeah, he's had a superb game, and every time that they needed him, he's come to the fore. The game is still here, but Armagh have possession again.
It's opened up now in the Mayo half. Tasker has it. He's got runners left and right swarming into position. Tasker hanging on, looks to his left, decides to have a cut. It's dropping, it's dangerous, it's over the bar. That is a match-winning score from Robbie Tasker, surely. Paul McShane, the Armagh manager, punches the air. Robbie Tasker, with his 3rd point of the All-Ireland Minor Final, has broken Mayo hearts.
Yeah, a wonderful score to win a game for Armagh. It's not over yet. Mayo still have a chance, but it's not looking good.
Mayo need a goal. Anything less now will not suffice. The kick out from Schlingerman, flicked on by Welsh. This is Rutledge driving towards the goal, trying to summon up that famous Knockmore spirit, but he's ran into the tackle, dispossessed back there by McKenna, the Armagh captain. Is he about to become the first man since Sean Blaney in 1949 to bring back the Tom Markham Cup? It looks like it. It's all over. History has repeated itself yet again. Mayo are beaten at Croke Park, but they die this time very much with their boots on. They gave it absolutely everything. Players all over the field collapse with exhaustion, disappointment, and through sheer heartbreak. Mayo have come up short yet again after an heroic effort. But it's Armagh who are All-Ireland Minor Football Champions for just the 2nd time in their history, the first in 60 years. And after what was a compelling All-Ireland final, it's very, very hard to know what to say next, Declan, because this Mayo team could do nothing more.
No, I feel so sorry for everybody involved, for the players, the management team, the extended panel. They gave everything they had, Mike. They gave their whole lives for at least a year, maybe more management times. It's unbelievable the work that goes in to get to here, and then to come so close, and then to have it grasped out of your hand by maybe a late point or two from Armagh. Mayo were in this game all the way through, Mike. They were there all the way through at the start, at half-time, with 5 minutes to go in the game. I would say maybe when they got their foothold with maybe 10 minutes to go and we had 4 chances, we took 1 out of 4, and ultimately the lack of composure, which is a difficult thing to say for minors, but it's a high level of football we're at here. Ultimately the lack of composure in front of the goal probably cost us.
Well, this of course is hurting every Mayo native at this moment, but spare a thought for the players themselves. I see in particular Aidan Walsh and Alex Corduff and Kieran Charlton. They're the 3 survivors from last year's minor team, which lost the final after a replay to Tyrone. And Walsh, the Mayo captain, has been down on his knees in front of the Hill 16 goal since the final whistle. I see Ray Dempsey going over to speak with him now. Walsh is absolutely heartbroken, as are the entire Mayo squad. And really, your heart goes out to them. They have given it absolutely everything, written off by most commentators and bookmakers in the lead up to this game. And yet, with 10 minutes to go, they led by 7 points to 6. And I suppose when you look back to the story of this game, Declan, that was the watershed.
Find the breaks and open the thing up.
Yeah, well, Armagh have been better in the second half, I think, in all their games, and they really dominated the second half here. If they hadn't win this match, they'd be wondering what was going on. They threw away possession, kicked wildly, shot from unpromising positions, but in the end of the day they had Robbie Tasker to settle things with a couple of nice scores, and they probably had the best player on the pitch in Andrew Murnan as well. So Armagh won a game, but it's not one that we'll remember for too long.
No, but if they had lost this match, Joe Bradley, they would have really woed some of those misses they had in that second half.
Yeah, but I think that vitally, you know, they wore them down eventually. Murnan's presence, I mean, he was terribly influential because he did his role to a T. He was, you know, Mayo had nobody to kick the ball to because he kept getting back in front of his own goals. He won so many breaking balls. I mean, as general, and he looks like, you know, he's from Lurgan. He looks like a young rioter from the 70s or something with the hair and all, and he plays with that sort of fervour. You know, he's totally fearless. Yeah. I mean, he was rushing in for everything, and he was putting his body on the line throughout, and had a massive overall influence on the game.
I'm sure people, by the way, have noticed this stage, Joe, as you're waving your hands around, that you've broken your left hand.
Well, I've punishment beating.
No, we don't do that anymore.
No, the viewers in the country who got fed up.
It's called dispute resolution now, Colin. You know.
And I wasn't responsible.
No, club football, Joe.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you renounce pacifism too late in life. You don't know how to hit somebody, you know. So anyway, I'd like to say that he came off worse than me, but that's not the truth.
He must look a right mess if that's the case. We're going to hear from the Armagh manager in just a moment, but Pat Spillane, just in terms of Mayo, I suppose we have to commiserate with them because, as I said, it's tough going to All-Ireland finals and losing.
Yet another chapter for that house of pain. It's, you know, it's 5 All-Ireland final defeats in minor since they won their last minor, and again probably the same old failings of Mayo football. There's an innocence and a naivety to Mayo teams when they reach Croke Park, and the innocence and naivety was seen here today, where they just didn't seem to be able to fathom out how to get around Armagh's defensive system. But like I said, look, Armagh were deserving champions, first time since 1949. But like I said, it was a forgettable minor final. It's a minor final that we saw too much short passing, too much over-carrying, and only in the last 5 minutes of the game that we really saw some good long kick passes into corners and some good kick scores, but it will not be remembered for very long.